Finally, we also explored with the participants, be them professionals, educators, school directors, principals, or inspectors in administrative county level or municipal level structures around education. We explored another practice, Tree of Life practice. This is a practice, a narrative practice, which emerged from the need to support vulnerable groups. It was developed initially in South Africa with vulnerable groups, people who had AIDS, youth, youngsters, children who were exposed to extreme trauma. But after its development and its consolidation with the narrative principles and ideas brought in beyond the author of this exercise, Tree of Life, Nkazelo Ncube, beyond her, David Demborough from Dulwich Center also partnered with her and described this exercise from the tenets of narrative principles and narrative theory and narrative therapy practice ideas. So this is a community narrative practice because it is involving by the authors the possibility to circulate the story that evolves among the participants and creating a communal sense and enrichment of reciprocal lives in the descriptions that follow. And basically the exercise is structured in a simple way. Participants draw schematically a tree, and in the different areas of the tree, such as roots, the line of the ground, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, and the fruits, they write with the support of the facilitator words or sentences that are relevant at the root level or area. They write about ancestors, the place they come from, aspects, the valuable aspects from the past, the preferred song, the preferred place, preferred dance in the childhood, in the previous years of living, and the most important persons who really touched their lives in a special way. And then who supported them to come to the present day. And then at the ground level is a short description of the present. What do they do, where they are living, what are the aspects of a regular day. And the trunk, they are invited to write a few things about their abilities, their skills, their capacity to go ahead. And among those abilities and skills, especially those with reference to relational skills, how they can influence others in transformative and good way, how they can be influential in healing or educational way, how they can lead, and so on and so on. And then the branches invite the participants to describe a few of their hopes for the future, horizons of the future, aims, dreams, because those dreams or aims are not supported or they come from nowhere, there may be some people present in the participants' lives making through their contributions in the participants' life possible for these dreams and these hopes. The leaves area are invitations for the persons to write down the names and the quality of some of the people in their lives who facilitated that, who support them in the direction of their dreams. So it is a moment of recognition, it is a moment of sharing, it's a moment of giving back, of naming these individuals, and also whom they may be, some of them similar with those who contributed most to their life in the past, which those who were drawn or wrote down in the roots area, but there may be many others or some others that may be worthy to be mentioned at this time. Of course, the exercise is very free, and the participants write what they want to write, what they feel safe to write, And generally they participate and they are becoming more and more creative once they are entering this game-like exercise. And finally, the fruits in the fruits area, the participants write what kind of contributions those special persons made in their lives. And of course, it's more about relational contributions, care, love, support, knowledge, not about material aspects or gifts. Anyway, the facilitator is facilitating and supporting the development of such descriptions. And then after this, drawing with text is evolved for everybody, be it individually or in group. There is a second part where we invite the participants to actually tell the story. This can be sort of a conversation where the facilitator is inviting the person to read and tell some stories, some details about the aspects that they draw and wrote on the Tree of Life paper or poster. Of course, when we have group work, we invite them to have big, large posters so that they can be seen by the others who stay in a semicircle around the place where they present. So we give a special room, a special place to the participants where they can tell their stories. And so one of the many stories that they may tell about their lives, and of course, it's one of the stories that in a systematic way, based on the structuring of this exercise, is providing a desired, a preferred story, a story that is worth living by. This creates a platform for the person to be seen, to be described by this story in a way that is invigorating, that is creating, in other terms, self-esteem, that is supporting the person to be creative, innovative, and agent in their own lives, having a script now that is convincing, that has many proofs, many arguments, many little stories that connect and give a direction to their possible future, and has roots and a standing in their examples of their lives, which are described in this Tree of Life. So of course, different moments of the day, different moments of the week, different years, maybe we can get different Tree of Life, but some things may reappear, some things may be a red thread in this. Some things are very important and stable in their description, but of course, things may be varied at different points. We don't want the truth, but we want some story that may shed a light about what is invigorating and inspiring this person and the way of life they prefer. Of course, when we do that in a group, it is a process that creates a communal experience, that creates a heightened sense of sharing, of being listened by, of being understood, of being authenticated, because you may also involve the others to write on the Tree of Life. There is a moment where we call that an exhibition. So the Tree of Life create a forest of life of those who participate, which is like a exhibition that everybody can visit, but also can interact with. They can add, draw, add, or ask questions, make comments, write things on each other's trees. So there is an intense sharing and listening. And then we use this exercise for development of certain skills, like leadership skills in education. And we ended the exercise by having a certificate. We invite everybody to create their own certificate. It's not like given by an entity, by the supervisor or the trainer. No, the trainer is part of this process, like everybody else. And everybody is creating their own story. And it is sharing their own story in the way they want. And they create their own certificate. that the certificate has roots in this work. So it is titled with a certificate Tree of Life and the name of the person, and then they fill in what are the abilities and skills that were unveiled in this process, what are the hopes and desires for the future, who are the people who are important and contributed in their lives, and then signature and date, and then other colleagues may also sign, the facilitator may sign, may become witnesses of this testimony of preferred life. Of course, in a professional context, some of these tree of life may become tree of professional life, where you can have dreams for their career and dreams for their institution. And it all can be influenced by the context of the exercise. What is the general purpose of creating this participation will create these possibilities. Some people in the professional setting, they may choose to work on and share a tree of personal life. And some people may choose to underline a certain professional identity. So it's a very surprising exercise by the choices of the people, depending on how safe and how motivated or interested they are in using this exercise in the directions of something that is important for them. And so finally, after creating the certificate, practically the tree of life drawing and text plus the certificate become proofs, evidence, and real supporting arguments of this whole experience. Some people treasure that. Sometimes we can have an exhibition of tree of life and certificates. We do that in schools, for example, and inviting then the leaders of the school, parents and community members to see the richness of students' desires, but also we can do this in a shared, in a team environment, in a team development, in a retreat for professionals, in order to create the communality that the other exercises also support, and of engaging people in directions that are creating more space for creativity, innovation, and fulfilling their dreams in the ways that they consider appropriate. So basically, these are the three methods that we experimented in Enablos project, and we received highly enthusiastic feedback from participants, both directly at the end of these workshops. We had conversations and direct feedback, but also in their journals, because between these exercises, we had workshops with some time between them. They could reflect on the effects of participating in the exercise in their work, in their life, and they were invited to jot down, to write down certain ideas, certain observations, certain conclusions, which conclusions or notes were shared electronically at the end of this process with us, the organizers. We can imagine this whole project as an action research of a sort, in which the participants were co-researchers along with us in testing these methods, narrative applied methods, to contribute to professionals' development and understanding in the context of their lives. Hoping that this story about the methods is inviting you to consider reading the reports and the guides, and hopefully you will experiment such exercises. The experience of being part of such a process is usually rich and capturing, mesmerizing. So I wish you will be able to have this opportunity. All the best.